Okay, this is my police reform skit. The person wearing this black and white flannel will be playing the liberal of the story, and the person wearing a red flannel will be playing the conservative of the story. Um, this is just a way of seeing different viewpoints on the idea of defunding the police and the Black Lives Matter and all that movement. Uh, it's important because this has been a problem in America recently over the last couple months. There's been a lot of protests and a lot of arguments about it, and I think it's a good thing for people to hear about. And it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. So here we go. Defund the police. Defund the police. Defund the police. Hey man, why you gotta hate on the boys in blue so much? They do so much good for us, and there's only just a few bad apples. There's no reason to defund them all. Police shouldn't be able to choose who lives and dies. That's why they have a gun. That's why they are the U. They're executioner, judge, and jury. So you believe a few bad apples in a bunch should be able to cause all the police to be defunded and small staffed? That's just asinine. They shouldn't be defunded and all that just because of a few bad apples. They do so much good. I think the police should be defunded because of those few bad apples. That money could be put somewhere better, like social programs and other positions to help people without the force of a gun and violence. Ways to get rid of violence in the police without just defunding and abolishing them all. We still need the police. What happens if someone breaks into your house? What are you going to do then? I don't think there's a way to get around this without defunding and abolishing the police. The police have been built on racism, and without defunding or doing something to the police, there's no way to fix this problem because it's just plain out racism. I agree that you think that the police have too much power, but there's things in order like getting rid of the chokehold and no knock warrants. Those are things that are getting rid of it. We don't need to defund the police. We can just use those things to make sure the police are more accountable. We still need the police. Back the blue. I agree, there should be no need for no knock warrants and violence because those just cause chaos. And the George Floyd died because of restraint on his neck. So I believe that those should also be put in place as well as doing something to the police. Well, there's no reason to get rid of the police. The police do so much good and their job is so hard. Why don't you go do the police's job then? In fact, we've gotten the ball rolling with the George Floyd bill, which requires law enforcement orders to report any record of use of force in any incidents with people. That's a good start, but we need to do more. They've also put in place a bill in Colorado that will go into effect in 2023 where all police officers will have to wear a body camera. Don't you think that's enough to keep the police accountable? There's no need to defund them. While both these bills that have been passed are good things and have been good for the change, this is not enough just to get rid of the violence and racism that's built inside the police. It's a system that was built on racism 100 years ago, and they'll find ways around it, so we need to find a way to prevent that. So what? The police have such a hard job, they have to act in the heat of the moment and won't be able to perfectly do everything. I say we back our boys in blue with how hard of a job they're doing. I'm saying getting rid of some of the police. Some of the police do need to go, but they still need to be there because there are situations where we still need police officers. But some of that money that all those police officers are getting could go to other positions like mental health issue officers, where they go and help with suicides and stuff. And then there's also peace officers, which just go and break up altercations on the street without force of a gun or anything. There's also be traffic officers where they can only enforce tickets. They can't search your car without a warrant because you're pulled over on the side of the road. Stuff like that is where the money could be used instead of just funding a police department that's full of racism. I don't think there's any way we could possibly agree on this issue. If you want to say defund the police, I'm going to say back the boys in blue because they haven't done anything wrong and there's just a few bad apples, so we shouldn't get rid of all of them. Blues, those blues that you are backing are the cause of racist deaths. They have killed so many black people in the last year or two, and they have all been come to light. They do inhumane things that should not be allowed, like shooting at people in cars or people that aren't fully cooperating, being put in chokeholds and choked to death. Funding and getting rid of the police will just make crime go up in America anyways, so why would you want to do that? That's one of the leading things that causes people to die is crime. So getting rid of them won't be helpful. Think what you want, but this system is built on racism and it will come to light and there will be defunded and abolished. Defund the police. Okay, skit aside. Those were two very different sided people arguing over the idea of police reform. But now it's time, I guess, for my opinions. Um, I definitely think there should be police reform. There's definitely something that needs to happen. There's been a lot of racism in the police department over the years. It's been built in racism. I do believe in systematic racism being a thing. I think that defunding some of the police and being able to put in different things like social services and different officers, like the liberal said in the thing, uh, people like traffic officers, mental health officers, peace officers, all of those different things, I do believe would be beneficial in a way to get around this police violence issue that we have in America. I still believe we do need a police force because, yes, the police are useful in some situations, situations that are violent and that are not able to be avoided from being violent, like school shootings, stuff like that. We still need the police for. So I believe that the police should stay in a way, but we should defund some of that money and put it towards other issues like those other positions I was talking about and working towards helping citizens in a more peaceful way and a less threatening way than a police officer always being there to do a job that they might not be as well trained on. So those are my ideas on the thought of police reform. Thank you for watching.